the public. I think it's recording now. Fingers crossed. Let me bring up the presentation. Okay. Welcome everyone to the TB 23 to 20. Wait, can we see my screen? Thumbs up.
It says loading.
Damn.
Oh,
My screen is paused. Screen sharing is paused. But why is it paused?
You have to go on that like window in order for it to not be paused.
I'm just not gonna share Safari. We'll just share my whole desktop. How about now? Can we see the screen?
yep, that's good.
Lovely. Runoffs time. Before we go into announcements, once again, here's the question form. Feel free to scan the QR code and ask some questions to our candidates while we hear about some announcements. First one, Icebreakers. It's happening tomorrow. SGM 601, 4:30 to 7:30. Very long event, but very necessary time. If you don't know what it is, it'll be like a farewell time to our seniors. Like a senior will go up to the front and I'll call on you after I finish, Nico. A senior will go up to the front and then people will say a few words about them, and then the senior will say a few words back to the people, and then people hit the block of ice. And then, yeah, maybe some tears will be shed. Nico, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm planning to arrive late. Is it still gonna be okay? Like,
Yeah.
like should I just knock on the door or something?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because I don't want to interrupt if anything.
I feel like as long as you just come into the room quietly, then it'll be fine. Also, that was a good reminder, Nico. If you're a senior, graduating senior, and you plan to go and have some words be spoken about you, shoot me a text if you have not already. On to the next one.
Hi everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well. And thank you everyone for turning in your TP banquet proposals. They've been really good. I've been having a lot of fun posting them on the story. But before we get to banquet itself, make sure you're nominating your fellow TP members for superlatives. So make sure to turn those in by tonight at midnight, and then we'll reveal them at banquet as well as with our next year's e-board or big six of e-board. But yeah, so make sure to fill that out, and I'll see y'all tonight.
So yeah, this Saturday we'll have our last Tagalog table, which will be about linguistics. So some pronunciation tips. We may know our phrases, but we don't. Some of us might not know how to pronounce it. So yeah, that's gonna be from 12 to 2 p.m. on Saturday. It's gonna be on Zoom. Yeah.
Yay! What's up? What's up, y'all? It's pretty impromptu, right? Like there wasn't like much like planning behind this, but even if y'all are still down, even though there wasn't too much notice, Rangfa and I are gonna be I said something funny that I'm dating that. Rangfa and I are gonna be doing Manhunt right after Icebreakers. So if you don't know what it is, you can scan that form. It has the rules there. And we're gonna be doing it like campus wide, and we got some fun prizes for y'all. So please sign up. We're down to start as it too, to be the manhunters if that's what will get you playing. But anyway, thank you.
Hello, can everyone hear me? All right, yeah, sounds good. Okay, so the first hearing after the preliminaries for the Roque family trials is going to be this May 1st at 8 a.m. And we really ask that you come out and support for this one. It's going to be their first one after the preliminaries, so it's going to be really big. We actually have a pretty good turnout, so we ask that you all should join us as well. The carpool tour is right here. It's due Saturday at 4/29 at 11:59 p.m. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Amanda, our other advocacy co-chair. And yeah, so feel free to reach out with any questions. And yeah, and please sign up. So thank you.
Okay, once again, feel free to ask some questions if you have them. Okay, without further ado, we're first gonna start with our treasurer candidates. Naya Mane, you shall be first. Nicole, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room real quick. Damn, Zoom's hard to work. Breakout rooms. Assign any the participants choose from. Create. Assign. Where's Nicole? There you are. Nicole, do you see the breakout room? Oh, lovely. She left. Okay, Naya, I'm gonna what's it called? Pin you.
Hey Nicole,
Oh no, I think I meant to spotlight you. Nico, did you join the breakout room?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes, we can, Naya. Are you? Did I spotlight myself by accident?
Yes.
Damn it.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, I have a few questions for you.
Cool.
Okay, first question. What are your ideas for fundraising?
So glad you so I think I wanted to keep a lot of the stuff that we were already doing like this past year or so. So I really like our food sales, like the spam musubi and the jello shots are really cool. I'd want to like add to that, and maybe like it'd also be a really good like bonding thing to have like a bunch of people come together and make like a big thing of Filipino food that we can give out like in little portions, whether it be like adobo or lumpia or something. I feel like that'd be really good.
Your sound cut out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I'll just talk out loud. Anyways, but yeah, so I want to continue the food sales. I'd also want to add like adobo and lumpia sales, because I think that also just be really fun for us to be able to get together and like bond over making kind of thing. And then I also want to continue the pie fundraiser, because I always think that brings in a lot of money. I'd also like, we didn't do this year, but I really enjoyed when we had raffles like at PCF and stuff, because I think that was a good way to raise money. Like, for example, we can like, you know, like just do a raffle to get free guest rights into the dining hall for a week. Like something like that, nice and easy, would be really great. Merch and sticker sales, I want to start like earlier at the beginning of the year so that we can like raise money through that for the entire year. Maybe like a used clothing sale, like a thrift thing that we can do. The beach day, again, I think if we charge like just $5 to go, that could be helpful. The tie-dye event, I think that you would mention, because I think that'd be a really good idea. And anything that's more like champagne and like shackles, like something like that party stuff where you can like raise money just for like attending that or something would be a good fundraising idea. So hopefully, sorry, that was a lot, but yeah, those are the things that I had in mind for the time being.
Don't worry about it. Giving a lot of ideas is the job. Next question. What will you do, or how you help members who aren't able to maybe afford certain events, or even dues, and might ask for certain plans and that sort of thing?
Yeah, so firstly, just with dues in general, I want to keep them relatively affordable, because I think the best part about Troy Fi, other than being like this big family space, is that it's like something affordable that people are able to just go to, and like it's more relaxing in that way. And so I want to keep dues relatively low for people who can't afford to pay them. I think that making a payment plan is always a good option. I'm trying to figure out whether it'd be better to do like something per month, or like per like if I wanted to do it like every few months or something, trying to figure out how often I do that. But I think doing it at a pretty consistent, like monthly basis, I think would be a good way to to go about like figuring out those payment options. But if somebody needs to do something more specific with that, they can coordinate it with me. We'll figure it out together. But yeah, making sure that they always have an option to like just pay little by little, I think is a good way. It won't be too overwhelming, and we're still able to get dues in from that.
Lovely. Next question. What improvements to the position would you like to implement?
Ooh, okay. I think what I had thought about, like, I honestly think the position's always really good. I think Jing had mentioned this, but I don't know if it was like super implemented. But if we started to like consistently put in like a monthly report of where the budget is at, so that everyone on board at least is able to stay up to date about like where our finances are at, I think that'd be really helpful just to make sure that we stay on track. I also like talked about, I think this in a little bit in my speech, but I wanted to like keep like a rainy day fund kind of just in case, because I think we tend to go just like a tiny bit over budget, which I have seen. So I think like making sure that we can compensate for that ahead of time will make sure that we're able to kind of prepare for it. And I think it'll keep us like in the green a little better down the line if we're knowing that that's going to happen, or assuming that that's going to happen. Another thing that I wanted to do was implement, I talked about this earlier, but just like make merch sales done kind of earlier in the year, like have a design by the beginning of the year, start sales maybe halfway through first semester or something, so that we're able to continue fundraising that throughout the entire school year, which I think would just be helpful in that sense, to get more money and make sure that more people, both fall and spring semester admits, would kind of know about that merch. Yeah.
On that topic, very important question. What kind of merch do you have in mind? Any cool ideas or?
Ooh, okay. So I really liked the idea of doing like a sweatshirt or polo. I feel like that's really nice. Just to have something that you can like throw over, because like t-shirts are cute and all, but like I think we can make more use out of like a sweatshirt or polo or something. So I think that's what I'd want to implement. The stickers I think always work really well. I definitely want to continue that for sure. And I love stickers. So I feel like those would be like the two main things that I'd want to do for merch for sure. Oh, matching sets. Yes.
Changing topic. So as you know, Treasurer kind of works with almost all the e-boarders with their events. But what kind of collaborations do you have in mind specifically for working with other positions?
Yeah, so for board, just kind of like making sure that they're up to date with like the treasurer position. I think it'd be good to have like somewhat like maybe weekly, bi-weekly meetings, just to kind of like see where each like position is at, like money wise, so that I can also just figure out maybe like per month like what their budget's gonna look like. So I can start to plan that out ahead of time. I think that would be really impactful. When it comes to like maybe fundraising things, I think that's also something that I can coordinate with the other positions as well, just to make sure that we get other people to help with like fundraising, promoting it, maybe even running it. I know this year we had the clubs thing. I think I do something along those lines, maybe not like that exactly, but like something that allows me to like work with socials, one of the other departments, programming, something that we're like all able to kind of collaborate together with to make sure that we can like all fundraise as a group and make sure that we're all in the loop in that way. But yeah, I think the bi-weekly or monthly meetings I think would be the best way to just make sure that I know what everyone's plans are in case of financing, and so that I can plan ahead and make sure that there's hopefully at least very minimal issues with like trying to create funds for that. But yeah.
Lovely. And last question, that might have went fast or might have went slow, I don't know. But what kind of or how will you work with other clubs to make collaborations or events that will benefit both clubs beneficially? Oh, I said benefit twice. You get the idea.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you're muted.
Okay. I think for one, I think it'd be really good to like build those connections really early on with clubs, just to make sure that we're kind of like on the same page about things. So like getting in touch with like a PASA and any other org that we might want to like get involved with. And then when it comes to like planning that's something that I definitely like want to get all the details for like right when we're like approached with an idea, or if we want to like speak with another club about collaborating on something. I think it's just really important to figure out like one, how much we're needed when it comes to like shifts, getting supplies, all of that. And then I think just overall, I think it's important when we do like cross club collaboration that we're both equally kind of promoting the event, running it, getting supplies. So I think like constantly being in communication and being on the same page about what we're going to need from each other will be the most important thing. But I'd definitely be totally down to collaborate with another club. I don't know what that would look like yet. I think it'd be really cool to do either like a party thing, a fundraising thing. Honestly, I'd be open to whatever I was approached for, just kind of see what we could work out. But yeah, I think as long as there's like pretty open communication and we like kind of state early on what we're going to need from each other, that's probably the way it's going to go the most smoothly. And if it's like planned more ahead of time, that's also going to be really helpful so that we can promote it more and plan it better. But yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time.
Guys.
I'm gonna remove the spotlight. You're free to either join the breakout room, or I know you're at an event, so you can also just leave the room.
Okay, I will be back in a little bit. Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. How do I? Rooms? How do I tell? Oh, I'll just close all the rooms. How do I close it faster? Yeah, hopefully she just comes in. Is she back? I can't tell. Oh, she's still.
She's back now.
Oh, lovely. Ready, Nicole?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm good. I'm good.
Lovely. I'm gonna spotlight you. Spotlight for everyone.
Ooh.
Okay. Let me find a nice question and then we'll get started. Okay. Same question, but how will you prevent us from going over budget or spending too much on any events that you have in mind?
I would prevent going over budget on events by having the budget be set from the beginning. Like I said in my speech, I want to implement a more organized way of expressing to eBoard how much money each position gets for their events or programming for each month, week, whatever. So I think as long as we keep that communication clear and eBoard doesn't spend too much on their events, then we should keep under budget. As well, we should I would also really want to keep a solid cushion so that in the case that we do go over budget, it won't be as impactful to our whole budget.
Lovely. And someone, I guess this is a dying question everyone has, but what ideas do you have for merch for next year? I think merch is always an important idea to.
I'm so glad you asked. As someone who designed the sticker this year, the Jollibee sticker for the merch, I'd love to design another one in the same vein. Maybe Jollibee doing other things, maybe other USC things related to being Filipino. I also have I have already a sticker idea for like a jeepney sticker that says Troy Philippines on it. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but I really want to make, other than stickers, I want to make a bumper sticker, which I think would look cool with a jeepney design. Also, since the tote bags were so successful, I'd really want other things that are not clothing, like backpacks, maybe water bottles. So yeah.
Perfect. And what specific initiatives do you have that you would like to introduce to the club or continue from last year?
What I'd like to introduce is monthly, like a more concise way to show what the expenses are for Troy Phi every month. So that's through a graph, a chart, or sheet. That's mostly for eBoard though. Otherwise, I'd want to reach out for more sponsorships or fundraiser locations with the external Filipino community. I think this could all be done like in the summer, so it's not that much work to do as long as I reach out to like my intern or other e-boarders to help out. And so we could build those connections up as soon as possible. Just some other fundraising ideas that I have would be like selling Filipino food on Trousdale. This could be like barbecue, lumpia, taho cart, that we could sell cups of it on Trousdale. Also doing like a Troy pie fundraiser. That's like something where you embarrass the e-board. This is like with a duct tape fundraiser where we like pay $1 to duct tape someone to a wall or a pole or something in the middle of USC campus. Another idea I also want to have to save money as well as not just make money is to create an inventory. Another club I'm a part of, Escape SC, like really uses this system where like they keep a strict inventory of what they have, what materials they need, so they don't have to spend unnecessary money on events. So this is stuff like plates, cups, utensils, things that we have left over. So instead of buying like plates for one event and then having the leftovers go who knows where, we could have like an inventory so we know who has them, how much we spent on them, how much we have left, and then we could use it for the next event rather than spend more money.
Okay, and for your next question, as you may know, even though our dues are on the lower side, we have events throughout the year that cost more money, say friendship games, retreat, or banquet. How will you help people afford such events? Yeah, whether there is Playing Pens or any other kind of plan you have.
Yeah, I would really like there to be, well, first of all, I want to implement earlier fundraising ideas before dues are even due. Like this could be like really easy stuff, like just having a Chipotle fundraiser, Yogurtland fundraiser. But in terms of like a personal like thing, I really want to implement a more accessible way to ask for a payment plan. So rather than like directly emailing and not knowing what to say and not knowing if you're like worthy of like getting a payment plan, you could just fill out a form and then say what your financial situation is. I know a couple years ago, Moosh had that form where if you like submit your financial aid, they'll like do the they'll do like whatever is like equivalent like percentage wise to like waive that percent of your dues. So I would want to implement that again and make sure that that's accessible for every event. So like when we advertise for banquet, we'd also include this form that's asking for a payment plan. We advertise for friendship games, we like say like, this is the payment plan, this is like, these are other possibilities. Just make it more noticeable so that people aren't afraid to ask for help because we can help them.
Okay, and the last question I have for you, over the years, or the recent trend that we've been seeing every year is that dues has been getting slightly cheaper every year. Would you want to follow this trend or go on a different trend? How would dues look for you next year?
I would really like to lower dues because of course dues being expensive is like one of the biggest barriers of why people don't join. So to combat this, I'd really want to, like I said before, start fundraising earlier rather than later. I also want to ask like people outside of our club for money, not just people inside our club over and over again, because I dislike the idea of like paying dues and then still having to pay for all these events to participate in Troy 5. So I'd like to just even start even in the summer to like to start fundraisers and start reaching out for sponsorships to make sure we have a large cushion and be able to pay for a lot of the programming that we don't have to ask as much from the members.
Okay, thank you for your time and your answers.
Thank you.
we will now be moving on. Actually, I don't know if anyone news joined, so I'm just gonna drop the question link one more time. Get the link. But next up will be Jing. So Jing, be ready. Breakout rooms. Nat, I'm gonna assign you to a breakout room real quick. Okay, I think she's left. Jing, you are now spotlighted. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Your first question is, how will you work with APOSA and other orgs to ensure TP is well-funded and seen within the Asian community?
Yeah. That's a good question. So thank you. Something that's really important to me is collaboration. So I'd really love to work with other RSOs, especially the ones that like the member orgs under APOSA. Something that we can start with is like advertising our events in the APOSA newsletter. This would kind of help to like bring more people to support Troy-Fi. Also like make us more visible. And then we'd also be able to like externalize our fundraisers so that the brunt isn't on our general members. Regarding member orgs, one of APOSA's member orgs is SCAPE, which stands for Student Coalition for Asian Pacific Student Empowerment, I believe. And I would kind of love to like plan opportunities for leadership interns or like anyone in TP really to participate in projects that like advocate for the Asian American community in Los Angeles. I'd also like to collaborate with like APOSA's like professional member orgs. They have APAMSA for pre-med, AATP for like tutoring, Memo for I think it's like educational and like medical outreach, and then SACE for engineering and science. So that can kind of be like an opportunity to like connect members with more opportunities. And then also I kind of have like a unique ability, I guess, to connect with APOSA through USG because I'm now holding the position of CPO or Chief Programming Officer, which puts me in constant communication with like the directors of all of the student assemblies and committees. In APOSA's case, this next year, they're going to be Yusuf, Tina, and Anjali. So yeah, and also like as the previous, I guess, executive director of QASA, I can also do like, I have experience with like event planning and programming, so I know how to work out events so that a bunch of students can benefit. Regarding funding, I also have experience with funding because I work closely with the treasurer. Well, I'm the treasurer in Troy-Fi, and then I work closely with the treasurer in QASA, and then I'm also on like the budget allocation committee in USG. So I will have all of the financial info for all of the assemblies, and I'll be able to kind of give us a little insider information, I guess, on what to put on our funding applications so that we have the highest chance of them going through and getting approved so that we can support our members.
Lovely. And on the topic of event planning, how would you like to improve the leadership program?
Yeah, I have a few ideas for improving the leadership program. Something that I want to do is leadership trips to Hi-Fi. I know that Nini, you started with that, and I know like my friends in leadership that those semesters really had fun on those. So I'd like to bring like kind of do that again. And then also maybe like more formal shadowing for e-boarders, like for leadership to be able to shadow e-boarders without like the commitment of being on intern board, if that makes sense. And then also, I think I talked about this in my speech, but also just bringing in like more opportunities for like directors of cultural engagement or like advocacy, socials, and other positions in Troy-Fi just to kind of like come to like leadership meetings, just to kind of like diversify them and also give like leadership interns more perspectives and like experience. I'd also want to like externalize more with leadership. So that could be like bringing in externals from like other schools to share, or maybe like around campus to kind of share and talk about their experiences. We have a lot of Filipino staff and faculty around campus that I'd love to bring in and talk to, or have them talk to leadership interns. Yeah, I also kind of want to like tailor the program to the individual as closely as I can. I'm studying education, and like something that we learn is like scaffolding is really important so that each student can kind of benefit. So like in a when applying this to leadership, some people may want more like cultural development. Others may want like more professional development. Some may be wondering like, what's it like on eBoard? So I kind of want to make like a leadership program that serves them.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think, I'm not going to waste your question time. Next question. How will you balance your role on USG as the programming director while also being our IVP if so elected?
Yeah, absolutely. So something that's like really important to me is that like I maintain a balance between like Troy Phi, my USG commitments, like also academics, of course, and my personal life. Regarding the balance between like USG, CPO, and IVP, like the commitments for CPO are about the same as my current commitment as the executive director for QASA. I just kind of have like extra connections, I guess. But yeah, so it won't be too hard to manage. And also, I'm going to be a senior next year, so my academic workload is also a lot lighter. So I'll probably be able to devote even more time to Troy Phi than I have this year.
Okay, lovely. Did not know you were the executive director of QASA. And then your next question, kind of what we've been seeing this past year is clique culture. So people are asking, how would you like to deal with clique culture as IVP?
Yeah. So I feel like clique culture is kind of something that happens everywhere. So it's going to be definitely difficult to like eradicate it completely. But something that I can do, I guess, to kind of mediate and massage that is I think that like clique culture is maintained from like the top down. And we've talked about this before, but something that I want to do with eBoard is have the monthly eBoard dinners where like anyone can come and like eat and like meet or eat together and like meet eBoarders and kind of get to know them. Hopefully this will kind of make eBoarders like more approachable, and also just be an opportunity to bond with new people, because like you never know who's going to show up to the eBoard dinners. I also want to take something like the Pen Pal program from our directors of cultural engagement and kind of work with like outreach to create like a Pen Pal program for incoming freshmen. That way like new students can kind of like feel welcomed from the get-go and know that like they have a friend and like a place to call home with Troy Phi. Even if they don't end up joining Troy Phi, just knowing that they have someone. And this would be different from COPPA because it would be kind of like a more random process, which hopefully would help students to like interact with more people that they might not have like originally, and hopefully find good friends. Another thing that I want to implement is like more welcome week events. Hopefully we'd have like a chill event where students can kind of like come and ask questions, whether it's about like Troy Phi or academics, social life as a whole, maybe like opportunities for advocacy, definitely, like other clubs, really like any questions that they have, we can hopefully try to answer and support them, and like give them opportunities to socialize outside of like maybe their maintained friend groups. But I also just want to like make sure that people know that IVP and eBoard as a whole is open and willing to listen, and make sure that they know that like when someone is feeling excluded by their peers, I want to be there for them. I want to listen to what they're going through, give them advice if they ask for it, like comfort them in however we're both comfortable, and truly just like care about them and their well-being, because I do. I'll always be there for anyone, whether I am in IVP or like I did in like treasurer and PACN or intern leadership GM, whatever, whether it's like whether they're drunk or sober or like it's a big issue or a small issue. I just really always want to support everyone and like do the best I can to be a friend.
Lovely way to end it off. That is all the time we have.
Okay,
I'm gonna
thank
remove
you.
your spotlight and try to put you in a breakout room, unless you're able to do that yourself. I'm not too sure.
I can try. Yeah, I can.
Ooh, nice. And can you just tell Nat to come back?
Mhm.
Oh, did they leave?
He didn't.
No,
Hey, Nat.
Nat's not in the room yet. Also, Naya, I forgot to send you a text that IVP was starting.
Hey, Nat, I think they're calling for you with the thing.
Oh, you just joined the breakout room?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I thought you were just talking to yourself.
Good job.
Is Nat here? Oh, there you are.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hello.
Spotlight.
Oh no, my.
You ready to go?
I think so.
Okay. We'll start with what the heck? Someone wrote a weird question. What is your plan for member retention this next coming year's IVP?
Alrighty, so I plan on continuing the same initiatives that past IVPs have done. For example, office hours, I really utilized those, especially my freshman year, just because I was really looking to find community, and it was really easy for me to just pop in a classroom for a little bit and procrastinate doing my homework. At least others in that room were like kind of on the same wavelength. It's better than just sitting in silence at Levy, personally speaking. And then honestly, as social chair this past year, one of me and Caden's biggest responsibilities was member retention. And one of the things that we brainstormed for our next social chairs in our transition docs was to come up with sober social ideas, such as, I don't know if anyone was there in the fall semester, but our beach bonfire was sadly canceled due to weather problems. I think it was storming and it was just not a safe environment for us to be there. So one of the things that I had brainstormed in place of that was just to do a little pizza party on Hammock Hill right in front of Burncrant. And we got so much positive feedback from that event. So I think in order to keep fostering member retention is to come up with simple events that anyone can just pop by for a few minutes, say hi, and really feel like they have a home in TP. So yeah.
That sounds lovely. Your next question is, oh, nice. I don't know if I cut you off there. You froze. How does the role of IVP align with your long-term goals?
So glad you asked. For those of you that don't know, I'm double majoring in law, history, and culture and psychology. Also, the psychology IVP pipeline is so real. But if I choose to pursue the if I choose to pursue the law side of things, I would undoubtedly go into family law. I have a passion for working with people, and one of my biggest fears is working a sedentary job. So if I did go into family law, I would be dealing with conflict management within family units and drafting solutions to appease everyone. While this is like a really emotionally draining industry, I firmly believe that there's nothing more rewarding than ensuring everyone is where they need to be. And then if I choose to pursue the psychology route, I am only a sophomore, I got some time. I would become a therapist. Growing up with both Filipino and Mexican influences, mental health was never a priority growing up. In fact, my beautiful mother, which some of you have met at tailgates, struggles with profound anxiety and depression. And it was really sad watching her grow up with these mental illnesses that she didn't really know she had at the time. So my goal would be to help others like her, those that grew up with negative stigmatizations of mental health. So regardless of which industry I choose in both of them, my goal is to support everyone that I encounter and validate their opinions and make sure that they know their lives are valuable. And I really feel like that is one of the most important jobs of IVP, is to ensure that not just leadership, but Troy Phi as a whole is top notch, mentally speaking.
Lovely. And as IVP, as you know, you're going to be having your own cohort of freshmen or transfer students. So how do you make them feel included and welcomed in like a new environment, being on like on new campus and that sort of thing?
For sure. So for those of you that also don't know, I was an orientation advisor last summer. Shout out Fetty, we were coworkers. But actually not one of my jobs. I had a lot of jobs as an orientation advisor, but one of them was to create a welcoming environment for newly admitted Trojans that were so nervous. I mean, think back to when you were a freshman or an incoming student if you were a transfer student. Like, it's nerve-wracking coming into a new environment, especially one as large as USC. So with that, I'm literally trained in knowing the inner workings of USC, such as resources, cool hangout spots, and networking. Also, in addition to that, I have invaluable communication skills that I learned as an OA. I led large group activities to bond students with one another, while orientation advising was on like a grander scale of 20,000 students, and Troy Phi is not a 20,000 student organization. I really feel like my job as an orientation advisor will translate directly to that of an IVP. And then on the emotional side, as an orientation advisor, I was a sounding board for students that didn't know anyone. So in an effort to kind of combat this and make them feel like they had a friend when they came into USC, every student that I met, I made an effort to give them my personal number, my email, and my social media accounts so that they had someone that was easily accessible to ask for advice. I knew that if I was an incoming student, I would totally value something as personal as an older student giving me their contact information if I needed to ask about what the best housing residence hall was, you know? So just being a sounding board for others would kind of be my goal. Yes.
Lovely. And your next question, what do you see as being your biggest challenge being IVP, and how do you think you'll overcome it?
For sure. This is a good question. Honestly, one of my strengths and one of my weaknesses is my ambition. I feel as if I'm really committed to every job that I do, and that's also why I have a severe caffeine addiction. I commit myself 110% to everything that I do, and so maybe juggling my own mental health with my goals for the club could stand in the way of, not stand in the way, but could kind of influence my role as an IVP. But again, like I said in my Q&A last week, I don't feel like I have to juggle Troy Phi with anything because I am so passionate about it. If you had the chance to listen to my speech last week, you know that Troy Phi gifted me something that I can truly never repay in the proper way. I built a community here and allowed me to feel less lonely. And so if I'm giving back to something that I love as much as Troy Phi, it doesn't seem like a challenge. But if I had a challenge, it would be my ambition.
Okay. And last question, how do you think you will improve the leadership program? Scott, not saying that it was bad. Just how do you think you can make it better?
For sure. First of all, I want to say thank you to my ate Alex, Nini, and Scott. You guys rock. However, if I were to kind of put my own ideas into the leadership program, I want to continue Nini's idea of field trips, but I would kind of do a twist to it. So I want to introduce this thing called Spotlights. I'm from Carson, California, and if you don't know, this is a really rich city with rich Filipino culture. In fact, I grew up at a school called St. Filomena, but there were so many Filipinos at my school, we called it St. Filipinos. But given that, I had so many positive influences around me, and one of them being a restaurant owner. Her name is Reza. She owns a restaurant called Manila Sunrise, and she kind of sparked this idea. Also, it was inspired by Alex Montansis, our chapter advisor, but I would love nothing more than to connect our leadership cohorts with like these small businesses. This restaurant that she owns, it's delicious food, and there's no better way to expose someone to culture, especially if they haven't been around it their whole lives, than with food and conversation. And so my goal would be to bring leadership to the small businesses that I grew up with, and then one of them being Manila Sunrise. And then also, I wanted to add to that, I do want to introduce volunteer events. Really quickly, I was an American Heritage girl when I was in middle school and high school. And there I planned a collaboration with FedEx because they have a philanthropic side of the corporation. And I want to bring this to TP because with that philanthropic kind of event, we assembled hot meals and care packages for the homeless population on Skid Row, and especially for students that aren't from California and are looking for a way to give back to the community. I think this would be a great opportunity, and not only does it bond the leadership interns with one another, it would bond them with the great city of LA. So I would undoubtedly introduce spotlights and volunteer events.
Okay. Thank you for your lovely answers. I'm going to bring Jing back in.
Okay, thank you.
How do I share? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, everyone, it's time to vote. There's the QR code. Feel free. Actually, Nat, I think you're still, what's it called? Spotlighted. It doesn't matter. I'm sharing the screen. But yeah, feel free to vote. Same rules. I think I'm gonna close the voting like Saturday night-ish, and then results will come out that night also for the candidates that are still here. But while everyone's voting, Nat, would you like to plug the event we have going on tonight that everyone should go to?
I absolutely would. Okay, what's up, y'all? Right after this, I know I'm seeing y'all at the social. It's Caden's birthday bash / the end of your social. The theme is dress as a TP senior, but you can pick your favorite if you'd like. Do a little bit of a competition. It's at TP Crib. Feel free to hang out, have a good time. We're also going to be doing shots that you can purchase. So if you'd like to purchase them for yourself or for a friend, aka Caden, he turned 21 today. If you'd like to buy him a shot, I'm sure he would accept it. Me and Chris are going to be bottle girls. So just be on the lookout, have a good time, and make sure you say hi. So thanks, y'all.
Lovely. But yeah, I guess the meeting's over now. Nice and short meeting. So you guys can get ready for the party. Feel free to text out the voting link to all your friends so we can get people voting as fast as possible. But we will also send it out in a newsletter tomorrow probably. And this recording will be posted on YouTube, I think, hopefully. Okay. I'll see you guys all in an hour or so.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Good night. Boy.